Glad you're up with us here on 13 Sunrise. It's all about the state fair today. The turkey legs, the shish kebabs, everything that they have here at this hut, a lemon shake-up. We hope that helps you get your attention and get ready and start off on the right foot with us here on 13 Sunrise. 6 o'clock. It is Friday. First day of the state fair, too.
Yes, and you couldn't have asked for better weather, really. You probably need a jacket, in fact, as you're heading out there. So really great day, great weather-wise, and we're going to see this, it looks like, all weekend, Matt.
Yeah, not just a one-day event. Yeah. You know, usually fronts this time of year, they last for 2 days. We're getting it for 4 or 5 days, so soak it in.
Well, welcome
Beautiful
in
weather.
August. If she'll stay like this,
August
I'm liking
1st.
August.
August was like this all the time, you know. No, but headed to the state fair, you can't beat it. I usually try to get the corn cob, and then afterwards I think, oh, I ate kind of healthy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's always my first thought.
I'm good.
It's a
Do you think it's healthy too? Oh
Yes.
gosh,
Just
butter corn
light
stick.
butter.
Yeah. Okay.
Heavy on the butter.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that forecast today as you are headed to the Indiana State Fair. This morning, we are nice and cool, and real quick, I have some good news for you. It is the first day of August, and August is our sunniest month. There's usually just about a 30% chance of clouds this month. So the lower the bar, the sunnier the weather. You know, Indiana's kind of a cloudy state overall, especially when it comes to the wintertime. And yesterday was cloudy for a while. It looked very dreary at times. No longer is that the case. The skies have cleared out, and now we've cooled down. We're in the mid and upper 50s. We're down to 56 in Jay County, Hartford City, good morning. Flora, we're sitting at 56, 57, good morning in Logansport. And I promised you guys in Boone County, we're now at 59 in Lebanon. We have a lot of those upper 50s for our northern suburbs from Pendleton into Fishers, Carmel. Good morning. Zionsville down to 56, one of our coolest spots, 58 in Greenfield. Now, the farther south you go, we'd still have some mid 60s. But that's way better than mid and upper 70s that we had yesterday morning at 64 in Nashville to Bloomington. Good morning in Bedford. It is 65. We're all running at least 5 to, well, up to 13 degrees cooler this morning in Greencastle. So soak it in. And it's not just about the temperature. It's about the humidity. It has been knocked out completely. Now, we're also talking about some wildfire smoke coming in from Canada. No air quality alert for us, but we are watching the air quality drop a little bit. The worst is going to stay up to the north and west. But later today, I think it could drop to the category where it's unhealthy for sensitive groups. So if you're sensitive, you may notice it, but everyone will notice some more of those hazy skies. Coming up, we'll talk more about the wildfire smoke and how that could kind of change throughout the weekend. But it is 6:02. We do need to get to a couple of new crashes out there around central Indiana. I believe the first one I've got queued up is I-65 in the northbound direction. This is East Raymond Street. It does look like the outside lane, so the most right-hand side lane is open. So these taillights are headed north past East Raymond Street, headed towards downtown Indianapolis. The headlights you see off towards the left, they're headed south towards Southport and Greenwood. So we'll watch this. It's hard to see exactly what's happened, but we do have a crash by East Raymond Street. And then we do have another crash on I-65 north. This is outside of central Indiana. This is past the big windmill farm as you're headed up towards Valpo and Chicago. It is slow. So if you have to head to the north and west today, be on the lookout for this morning.
We saw a need in our district, specifically in Indianapolis, to go after some of the bigger hitters.
Well, right now, Indiana State Police, they're stepping up their efforts to take guns and drugs off the street through something called their Criminal Interdiction Squad.
So this squad was started almost 2 years ago. It's comprised of 5 troopers, a K-9, and a supervisor. And in just the first 6 months of 2025, they've been busy. ISP sent 13 new pictures of some of the drugs and guns they've taken off the streets so far.
Sergeant John Perrine says in this year alone, this squad has confiscated 93 pounds of meth, more than 15 pounds of cocaine, 13 pounds of heroin and fentanyl. They say that they've recovered 26 stolen cars and found 4 human trafficking victims.
They've established themselves now to the point where most of what they are doing is a lead from what they've done previously. So they're coming across this crime, and while they're investigating it, they may establish 6 leads to 6 different people or 6 different crimes. Now they're following up on those. And you can imagine how that keeps branching out and continues to roll.
Sharing information is important. This squad works very closely with officers from other agencies, and especially IMPD. They're also calling for other communities and agencies to call them if they're facing a drug problem in their area. Metro Police say a tip from police in Massachusetts actually helped them find a stolen car here in Indianapolis. And now they say that a search of a property uncovered 11 other stolen vehicles from across several states. Some of those vehicles include $250,000 Rolls-Royce, other high-end vehicles like Mercedes, Lexus, Cadillacs. Investigators say the value of all the cars totals more than $1 million. 3 of the vehicles were stolen in Indiana. The other 9 came from Illinois, Georgia, New Jersey, and Florida. No suspects yet, police say, but they do have a warning for drivers.
We've asked that you make sure that you're keeping your cars locked. We ask that you keep them clean and free of anything that may make someone think, I might want to get in that vehicle, right? Let's just do our part and work together as a community and keep it safe.
So Metro Police are still trying to figure out how all of these high-end cars were stolen. They are asking for helpful tips and information, so you can reach out to Metro Police or Crime Stoppers.
Well, just days ago, you may recall an IMPD officer being shot and injured in the line of duty.
Thankfully, he survived and he was recently released from the hospital. But now police say his survival is in part thanks to a life-saving tourniquet that he had with him and he used to slow the bleeding. That tourniquet came from a trauma kit made by the Central Indiana Police Foundation. They've handed out thousands across the region, each one packed with tools to stop bleeding and save a life.
But now they say these life-saving supplies are in such high demand, they're trying to keep up.
We've got a waiting list for about 180 kits. And so the funds that will come in, we'll order the materials to put those kits together, and then we'll bring in volunteers to help us put those kits together and distribute those.
So each kit costs about $125, and they are fully funded by the community, so no tax dollars used to pay for this. The foundation is still trying to meet the growing demand, especially as more departments add new officers.
So if you'd like to donate or even help put these kits together when they get the supplies, we have linked that information for you at WTHR.com. Well, this morning we're learning a preliminary report on the deadly plane crash in Greenwood will take about another month, with a full report coming in about a year on a cause. We are hearing now from friends of Ann Tu Nguyen. She died Wednesday shortly after taking off from the Indy South Greenwood Airport. Friends say for her, flying wasn't just a hobby, but a calling. Jamie Swanson was one of those inspired by Nguyen. They met in Wisconsin when Jamie was interested in becoming a pilot.
Ann Tu was at one of the booths at the Women Venture area, and it was the Asian Women in Aviation booth. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a thing, like Asian women flying. Like, I was just inspired at that moment because I didn't even know that there was a booth for that particular group.
Nguyen founded a nonprofit in 2018 called Asian Women in Aerospace and Aviation. Last year, she became the 10th woman in the world to fly around the world solo. Her social media video, she says she was completing that trip again. Her flight on Wednesday, in fact, was the second leg of that trip, which she began here in Indy.
The Indiana Department of Correction confirms to 13 News that Richard Allen was moved to an out-of-state prison for his own safety.
But why? Well, last fall, the jury found Allen guilty of the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. And as we reported this month, Allen was moved to that facility.
Well, now the IDOC tells 13 investigates that he was moved there to Oklahoma there for his own safety as a precaution, but not because of any specific incident or threat. Allen is now appealing his conviction in his case. The city of Beech Grove says the city council has a pretty big decision to make on Monday. They're deciding whether or not to raise resident sewer bills. The past 4 years, Beech Grove residents paid their monthly $37 sewer bill, and then the city covered the rest of the money from its utility fund. But Clerk Treasurer Samantha Stratton says that help is no longer feasible because residential rates didn't change, but the cost for the city kept going up. And that's why the city needs to raise the bill by $10 a month, charging residents between $46 to $75. Stratton says that if the council doesn't approve the change, employees could lose their jobs. Stratton also says that in order to build the savings back up for the city, they'll have to increase those rates again in 2026. Thousands of people are now in town for Gen Con.
It's the largest tabletop gaming convention in North America, sold out 4-day event. It's a fan favorite, which this year is breaking records yet again for attendance.
So people will be checking out all the events and vendors at the Indiana Convention Center and also at Lucas Oil Stadium. And we met some people who made the trip here to Indy, including one who came dressed for the occasion.
Kimberly Marsh is here from Phoenix for her 3rd Gen Con. Her outfit, she says, is inspired by a character she actually wrote when she was growing up.
I walked by a photo booth that's nearby, and immediately the person running the photo booth was like, "Your hair is so cool, do you want to take a picture?" And unfortunately, I'm a little camera shy, but yeah, a lot of people like seeing the pink hair and the outfit.
My favorite part of Gen Con is probably doing things like demoing games and buying dice and being able to do all the fun events.
People who have been coming here for years will have stories of old Gen Cons, so it really does allow you to connect with a lot of other people.
And you can see, really, Gen Con is for gaming fans of all ages.
And they'll be around for a few more days as Gen Con runs through Sunday.